What is your name and what are you going to talk about today?
So my name is Debbie and I'm going to talk about being a mature student.
Could you please give us a brief description of what being a mature student has been like for you?
Being a mature student was quite a worrying thing at first because I was quite worried about what people would think. I'm 32 years old, so it seems like I feel quite old doing a master's degree at this age. However, the university has been quite accepting and diverse.
What preconceptions did you have about being a mature student before you became one?
I was just quite worried about what people would think of me doing a master's degree at my age. I'm 32. It was just worrying in a sense because you know that the majority of students are going to be undergraduate students within a certain age range, so you can it was a bit off-putting. It was a big decision in that sense because it took a lot of courage, I guess, to do that.
Have you felt there's been any stereotypes about mature students that you feel like are incorrect?
I don't think there has been. I think the university is quite diverse in that respect. Obviously, there's a lot of postgraduate students and everyone's on a different sort of walk of life. I think there's not a stigma against a mature student, but it might be the obstacles that a mature student's putting in place for themselves, maybe. I've not come across any sort of stigma or stereotypes when I've spoken to people. Everyone's really nice, everyone's really understanding. I guess it was just my own worries, thinking about what if there is a stereotype or am I going to be treated differently, and it's just all those different anxieties. But after a couple of weeks here, they've completely gone, really. One of the worries that I have come across after feeling a bit more relaxed and everything was joining different societies and thinking, am I going to be the oldest person in there and stuff like that. But I'm going ahead anyway, and I'll find out. We'll see. I'm sure I'll be fine. You know, it's just one of those worries you can kind of get taken up in that thing. Oh, I'm so old and everything like that when you don't really need to. Yeah, so I guess my main worries were at first glance thinking that people are going to see me, notice that I'm older, and then instantly think maybe I'm more stupid or why have I taken so long to get to this point? You know, I'd hate to be as old as you and still be at uni and all these different other things, which people might think at face value, but obviously you don't know. You just don't know if that's true or not, but that's just my own sort of fears and worries, which is, you know, my own sort of stereotype for myself, I guess, or I don't know, some sort of internal stigma. But I guess when you get talking to people, it's easy to see that, you know, people don't always think that, but, you know, that was a main worry.
How do you think the media represents mature students?
I guess there is a lack of any exposure in terms of the media. I think one of the things I've faced enrolling on this degree is people that are a bit older saying I'd never thought to go to uni, I'd never think to go, you know, I'm too old to do it or whatever. So it'd be nice to see something like that reach out to people more, because obviously it is totally accessible and it's not just the fact that you have to be within a certain age range and a certain walk of life, you know, just to do a certain degree. You know, it's very, very diverse.
Could you maybe talk a little bit about your journey to becoming a mature student?
In my journey, I didn't want to carry on doing any sort of postgraduate courses after uni. I was kind of done with studying. So I went into industry. I've worked in 3 different departments across 2 different NHS trusts over the past 5 years, alongside having a son who's now 6. So I've still been quite busy, but I thought I'd just have a break from sort of full-time work, because it is quite tiring when you've got a little one on your own. Even though a master's degree is a lot of work, obviously, it's just of a different nature.
How does being a full-time parent and a full-time student work out?
So I guess kind of compared to working 30 or 40 hours a week across a 5-day period, it's a bit more relaxed. The core hours essentially are kind of Tuesday to Thursday. It's 10 a.m. starts rather than 8 o'clock in the morning. So the school runs a lot easier and things like that. And then, you know, there's a lot less time physically where you have to be present somewhere, you know, and obviously if something comes up, you can catch up on a lecture because it's all recorded, and it's very much more digital than when I was here before. So yeah, instead of working sort of 8 till 5 Monday to Friday, which is strenuous work as well, working in a lab and stuff, it's hard work. It's a lot easier to fit in with the parenting and school.
Is there anything you think the university could do better to support you more?
One thing I have noticed is that there's not really a group or support network for mature students and other like-minded individuals to actually meet and find out who else is on campus is in this situation or similar. And I've noticed that, so that'd be good if something like that could sprout up in the future. I'm not sure if there is something in place like that. I'll have to find out. If not, I could maybe start something up like that. Obviously, like you've got busy lives and stuff like that as well. If you've got kids as a mature student or whatever, there's different journeys, and that would be something that would be good to find out by connecting.
Is there anything else that you would want to say on that specific topic?
The fact, which has been a big difference, is that lectures are already just going to be pre-recorded as a standard or as just a way, rather than before lectures were never recorded and things like that. So there was different. If you missed your lecture, you kind of missed it, and that was it. Whereas now, if something crops up, your child's ill, so you've got to go, it's so much easier just to catch up.
Is there anything you want to say to someone in that position of how to approach mature students?
Yeah, to sort of overcome sort of barriers that you might think. I can't say it's something that I've ever experienced really. People tend to be quite open and chatty and stuff, and obviously on your course you're going to sort of integrate anyway and stuff like that. I reckon it'd probably be I'm not sure actually. It's totally variable as well, depending on the people and stuff like that. I guess just find a way to break the ice. It's just as you would any age, I guess. So yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say? Anything you'd like anyone to know about being a mature student?
Only that, uni's quite a good experience. Don't be put off by thinking that you're too old by something or anything like that. Like it's a great experience. Like come and experience it. That's all I can say really.